Hi, hello everyone. Good evening to one and all. Yeah, today I'm going to start a topic called Turkish invasions in India. Why I'm starting this topic? Because with these Turkish invasions, Muslim rule will start in our India. Okay, that we'll see Muhammad Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori in today's topic. In coming days, we will like this. We'll go with Delhi Sultanate and Mughals also. Like that, we'll cover our medieval history.
Coming to the Muhammad Ghazni, here his period is from 1998 AD to 1030 AD. What he did? How we call him as Ghazni, Muhammad Ghazni. See, Ghazni is a place in Afghanistan that is in South Kabul. Ghazni is the not the name of the ruler. His name is Muhammad, but we call him Muhammad Ghazni because of the significance of that place. Okay, now that Ghazni is in right now, it is in Kabul. It is the capital of Afghanistan, as you all know. And coming to the very important point, why Ghazni came to India, what is the reason, all the things will come to know right now. See, first of all, let me tell you about the uh, caliphs. Who was this caliphs? Caliph is a regional head of Muslims that time. Okay, this time also caliphs are there. Okay, in that days caliphs were sitting in Turkey. Okay, why due to this reason only this Turkish rulers invaded whole world. Okay, what these caliphs used to do, they want to spread Islam. So what they were doing that time means, yeah, this Turkish they were these Turkish caliphs, what they did, what do you is, called, they filled a Josh in this rulers, and they given the title of Yamenuddaulah and Amin ul Mila. They given these two titles to Muhammad Ghazni. With these titles, what it happened in general, by giving titles, by taking titles, we will be in some Josh, right? Like that, well, think that Muhammad Ghazni also maybe in that time he was in full Josh, and he was trying to spread Islam by the advice and request of the caliph. So what he did is he himself given as a title as Sultan, means he is the first ruler to got the title of Sultan. Okay, what he did after that, in that time he attacked India 17 times between 1080 to 1027 AD. These 17 attacks are very important, and in that we will see in the coming slide the attack of Somnath temple. That will be the very important attack of Ghazni.
Yeah,
Because
in this slide, you'll find Muhammad Ghazni. I just dropped a pic just to remember you this man. Okay, next, chalo. We'll go to the next slide. Yeah, here we'll find the invasions of Ghazni in India. Ghazni invaded India between 1000 to 1027 AD. He 17 times he attacked India. Here I have mentioned very important attacks only. For example, in 1000 AD, this is the first invasion. He invaded Punjab. That time Punjab was ruled by Jaipala king. His name is Jaipala. And in 1006 AD, he plundered Nagarkot temple. Okay, just Google it and tell me where is this Nagarkot temple. Please just mention in comments. And the same way, he again looted in 1012 to 13 AD. In between this year, he invaded again Thaneshwar. You again mention me in the comment box where is Thaneshwar. And in the same way, and 1016 to 18 AD, he again invaded Mathura and Kannauj. Okay, and finally, 1025 AD, he attacked Somnath temple. Somnath temple, coming to the attack of Somnath temple, I'll tell you little story. Okay, how he attacked, how he plundered, what he destroyed and demolished, what he has taken from the Somnath temple. We will see. In 1025 AD, he attacked Somnath temple. Somnath temple is a Shiv temple. It is located in Gujarat. That time this Somnath was that time this area, this place was ruled by Chalukyan king called Bhima. Okay, what happened means he while attacking Somnath temple, it is not very easy for Ghazni like other attacks, because in Somnath temple, just imagine it is a very small temple, but for Muhammad Ghazni, it has taken 3 days to attack this temple and to take complete control over it. Okay, what happened? Because their Hindus, the Rajputs, they were very bravely fighting. They have done there is a very brave fight between this Muhammad Ghazni army and this Rajput Hindus. Okay, at last, after 3 days, Muhammad Ghazni got control over this, and he destroyed lingam, sacred idols, all the things he destroyed, and he plundered Somnath temple. And with the result of this, he looted 8 times more than his first invasion. Once again, I am telling you, 8 times more than his first invasion. Okay, for example, approximately nearly it is of 20 million dinars what he looted from the Somnath attack. Okay, after that, Ghazni till another 2 years also he annexed Punjab, Lahore and Multan, and in the entire these things they have taken under this Ghazni Empire of Ghazni, and these 3 areas he annexed under the kingdom of Ghazni. Okay, and coming to I'm diverting from this topic a little bit. And 1 second, for one for 10 seconds. Let me ask you one thing. Presently, Lahore and Multan is at Pakistan, right? You tell me about the Multan. I'm asking you a small, simple question. Who is the Multan of Sultan of Multan? He's a cricketer. You just mentioned me in the comment box. As I like cricket, I just ask you this question. Every time I see Multan, I used to remember this what you called this line about that cricketer. Okay, next, coming back to the topic. Next, let's go to the next line. Yeah, this is the Somnath temple. See the architecture of this Somnath temple. How beautiful it is. How beautiful our engineers were that time. Really, by why? Because I have taken this as a in a single pick, because I'm putting you in another slide only the Somnath temple, because you just see the Somnath temple, you just see the architecture. By this, you can again think about different temples in India. For example, Brihadishwara temple in Tanjore, that is also a great architecture, and Sun temple in Konark in Odisha, that is also a great architecture. You just Google it, and at least you go through this 3 temples: Somnath temple, Brihadishwara temple, and Sun temple of Konark. Today, you just Google it and search it. You just gain some knowledge about this temples. Okay, again, next slide. I'm going to the next slide. Yeah, why Ghazni attacked India? Can anyone tell me this? Okay, let me explain. The main aim is to spread Islam, but many researchers say that Ghazni attacked India uh, because of spreading Islam. But the main thing is to loot the immense wealth in India. Means first preference they have given to loot the immense wealth in India. Second preference for Islam. Okay, and for other political reasons also they attacked. But after this attack, you will see, yeah, in this slide you will see the consequences and important outcomes of this attack. When see, for example, if if anyone attacks India, after this attack, it cleared the way for the free movement of Turks into India and opened India to future Turkish attacks. Means this shows that there will be another attacks in the line. The attacks are in queue. Hold on, the attacks are in queue. Not only Ghazni, next Ghori, Delhi, Sultans, all others Turkish rulers who attacked India and ruled India for many years. Okay, and with this attack, once again it is exposed that the weakness of the Indian rulers. That time the rulers were Rajputs. That time Rajputs were in a very small number and they don't have one central government. They are scattered actually. So they are having small kingdoms. So it is very easy for these giant Turkish rulers to attack India easily. Okay, that's the thing happened. Okay, in the same line, after the death of Muhammad Ghazni, another Turkish wave has attacked India. This Turkish wave continued. As I said, Turkish wave continued in the another ruler, and the other ruler is Shahabuddin Muhammad Ghori. In the next slide, we are going to discuss about Shahabuddin Muhammad Ghori. Yeah, this is a second Turkish invasion. We can call this a second Turkish invasion, and this is done by Muhammad Ghori, and he ruled from 1175 to 1206 AD, and he will be considered as the founder of Muslim rule in India. Okay, Muhammad Ghazni just attacked and left, but Muhammad Ghori, he became the ruler of India, and he is the founder of Muslim rule in India. Okay, how he became the founder of Muslim rule in India? Let us see. He fought in main battle. He fought two battles, very important battles. Anyhow, in one battle he lost, but in again two battles he won. Let me explain you about those battles. In 1195 AD, there was a battle between this Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan. This is called first Battle of Tarain. Right now, Tarain is Haryana. This was fought between Prithviraj Chauhan and Muhammad Ghori. Here we'll see that Ghori is defeated, but Ghori didn't went back. Okay, he didn't left India. He know the weakness of the rulers of India, so he again tried his level best and he again attacked by the second battle of Tarain. This time Prithviraj Chauhan lost and Ghori won, and this battle led to another battle called Battle of Chandavar. This is a modern Firozabad. This is fought between Ghori and Raja Jaichand, and Muhammad Ghori again won. Okay, this victory resulted Ghori's control over northern India, and this what Ghori did he became the ruler of India, and he conquered the northern India, and by he sat in Delhi and he started ruling India. Why? As Muhammad Ghori, on his way back to Ghazni, he was assassinated in 1206 AD. That time what happened means, as Muhammad Ghori has no sons, his slave Qutbuddin Aibak assumed sovereign powers and laid foundation for Delhi Sultanate as Delhi capital. This shows that Qutbuddin Aibak, he Qutbuddin Aibak is from the slave dynasty and he laid foundation of the slave dynasty, and again is a Turkish ruler. And coming to the end of this topic, I would like to tell you about hmm, different dynasties which are coming under Delhi Sultanate. Qutbuddin Aibak laid a stone for Delhi Sultanate. And in Delhi Sultanate, we'll find five dynasties. One is slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq, Sayyar, and Lodhi. All these five dynasties are Islamic rulers, and especially these first four dynasties which I am showing in this PPT, these rulers are Turks, except Lodi dynasty, that is the last dynasty. Rulers are Afghans. Okay, in slave dynasties, we will find Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, and many people will find in Allah. And in Khilji dynasty, we'll find a very interesting point, very interesting person called Alauddin Khilji. I think everyone is interested in Alauddin Khilji after watching Padmavat movie, right? Yeah, we'll discuss about him in the next classes, coming classes. And Tughlaq dynasty, you will find about Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, all this we will learn in Tughlaq dynasty. And coming to the Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty, these Delhi Sultanate will end. And coming to the Delhi Sultanate, the longest dynasty is Tughlaq dynasty, and the short and sweet dynasty is Khilji dynasty. Just I am telling, I am joking, not sweet. It may be hard for the people, those who were under this Khilji dynasty that time. This time I am telling you, it is a short dynasty. In the way of period, okay, it is very short. That is for 30 years. Okay, like that.